by the time you get to that quarter pole, you have a pretty good handle on your strengths and your weaknesses. You have them every year. Last year, certainly, we had a whole bunch. And I think what we thought we'd be good at, we've been pretty good at. What we thought we might struggle with, we've probably struggled a little more with. We're not as strong defensively from our net to our forwards as I'd like us to be. Our numbers were pretty good by the end of the year. We got to work toward that. Probably scoring a little more than I thought we might. And I don't get too particularly excited about that because that ebbs and flows. So we look like favorite word in coaching. There's potential there. We have potential to get better.
Carter was saying just now about how the team feeds off emotion on the bench and you feel it. And he said that hasn't quite been there. Is there something you can do as a coach to manufacture that? Does that have to come from the players?
Oh, we got to do that together, and that's really our challenge for this season. Is finding that energy source. So you can bring it with anger. You can, you've got desperation if you're trying to make the playoffs. Us, a real hunger to get back to a place that we fell short the year before, but felt we were right there. Now we feel like we're a pretty good team, and that energy to drive. Our game is a hard game to play. I would give the players room to that. Without being caught on camera. I think everybody has a piece to that, the coach included.
How much has winning the Stanley Cup changed you, if at all? Make you more relaxed as a coach? More confident?
What's funny about that is in the last day or two, I said nothing changes. You lose a bunch of games in a row, and nothing has changed. You're just in a bad mood all the time, right? You can't wait for the next game to start. You got to fix it. You want to get 12 guys. So nothing's changed like that. It's more like the three guys come over to get their rings today. That's the difference. Cross paths, whether I get to see him here today or I get to see him on the ice, you'll lock eyes and there'll be a little smile there, and you get this kind of flood of memories. What an incredible time. And you get to keep that. You don't walk around all day thinking about that stuff. And then every once in a while you kind of get this surprise reminder, and you get this 30-second warm bath that you slip into about how nice that was last year, how amazing that was. So I don't. The summer was different. The summer absolutely was different. It was completely peaceful. And you won, and then we got a place up north. And because of the way our Cup Day coincided the day after a family wedding in the Detroit-Windsor area, nobody came up to the cottage, which was awesome. I don't want them to take that the wrong way, but right, when you walk off that bench, you are overexposed, right? It's 2 months of a camera following you like uncle. But it was and it was longer. Actually, it was the longest summer I've ever had not being at a rink because we didn't come back. We had training camp done before we left and came back about the third week in August. So it was an incredibly peaceful summer. Enjoyed it very much. But I think it was around the 7th or 8th of August, right around my mom's birthday, I just looked at my wife and said, all right, I'm ready to go back to work. So the next 2 weeks were kind of, let's go. Other than that, it's back on. You got a puzzle every day. You get a puzzle every year and a puzzle every day, and you got to try to solve it. So you can learn so much from where we are right now, the grinder that we're in right now. That's what we were good at. Our great success last year was when things were really shitty. We figured out some things that we kept from that, and we put it into our game, and it never came out. So we have been afforded the opportunity to fix a piece of our game here, and we got to get it fixed.
The Leafs have added the three guys, obviously, from your team
Yeah.
last year. They have a new coach. Just how different are they looking
Yeah.
this season?
I don't know, and that's just the honest answer. So I just don't watch them play enough. I know it's heresy up there, but if they aren't involved in one of our pre-scouts, I'm going to, depending on the schedule that we have or the weight of the game, I'll watch their last game or two, or I'll go back and pick a team that plays like us, even sometimes from a systems point of view. And then I got a really good pre-scout guy, and he's going to give me about 80 clips of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I'm going to order them, set through them, and that's but what we'll learn then will be tonight on the ice. In general, I would say there are certain, every coach has an affinity to a style of game to certain systems, and that would be, while the Toronto Maple Leafs look slightly different than the St. Louis Blues, that's more personnel based, but the structure of what they're trying to do and how they're going to play the game is very, very similar. It'd be similar. No, I just doubled back on the same sentence to make me sound like I was really sure.
You had the ring ceremony next door here.
Yeah.
But you've been able to give other guys their rings weeks later. Is that?
But I've been missing
How
out
cool
on it
is
because
that to see them see
I don't get to see them because they always do it at the same time. So this is the way this works. Because of when our morning skate ends and the other team's morning skate, there's about a 15-minute window to do it, and I'm in here with you people. But it is. I think Kyle was in. I was talking about it earlier. Like I had too many stories in my head. So you leave, you go up north, and then it's not that you don't think about it, you're not reminded of it. And then we had a couple come up, and my wife was showing them the pictures and videos that people had sent her from Game 7, from the whole run, and I've never seen any of it. And it was just this window of awesomeness, right? And then you get your ring, and it's really cool, and then you put it in a safe place, and I've only seen it twice since. When one of my kids, each one of my boys, when they came in, we showed it to them, right? That was really cool. It's the same here. So these guys roll in, and you get all this flood of memories because all three of them had just huge impact on what we do. I know that Anthony didn't get to but his game during the year, his personality, and then, Renzo's shot tip against Tampa, that was a big, big goal, and Lars's, play through the whole thing. So you have these great memories that you don't live in every day, and then you get this awesome reminder. So you show up to the rink and you love these guys and you see them and you're happy for them and you wish they were here, but we understand why they're not. So you get these kind of nice little reminders of a very special time in your life.
We saw Anton Lundell out there wearing the fishbowl.
Did you like it?
Yeah,
It's good. I'll let you know by game time how he felt about it. It's a good look.
Other changes, I guess you were talking about the 4 on the 4th and 3rd, some moves.
Yeah, I don't know if any of that's going to come into fruition until we find out how Lundy's, can see out of the thing. Because he may be in the lineup and may just play him with a different player because of it, a different style of player with him. I'll sort that out when I get the report on Lundell.
Are you surprised by that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to make the decision fairly soon. It's not like how he wakes up this afternoon. It's either if he figures he can get it done with that thing or not. If he figures he can get it done, then he's 100%. I'll play him whatever minutes. I'm not going to think it's not I don't have to hold him back.
Yeah, he said he had to wear those and he had to wear.
Yeah, they're all used. Yeah, they're all used to that. That worked well.
Are you surprised by the success Anthony Stolarz has had?
No, he plays exactly like he played for us. Exactly, like that's him. I think what you've got is a guy that. He played maybe in some tough teams, right? And not being disrespectful to the teams he played for, but they were in different parts of their programs. Florida program, the Toronto program are pretty solid. We're going to play a pretty good game in front of you. And then he also got, I think Robbie Tallis is fantastic at what he does. He can find what a player is great at and maximize that. I think it was good for him to work with Sergei and watch Sergei's program. I think they had a wonderful relationship. And his play kind of, I don't even want to say it went like that. It just kind of went like this. And then it just stayed here. And he was incredibly consistent with his game. He didn't work in a lot of off nights. I mean, our schedule wasn't as compressed last year. So we would have played him far more. But our priority one was rhythm for Bobrovsky. And because our schedule wasn't too jammed up, if he's in our schedule this year, we got, I think, 14 sets of back-to-back games. So that's just before we even get out of the gate. There's your 14, and then we're probably going to throw in another 15 on top of that, just based on his play. So I was not surprised. I don't think he was lucky with us. I think he worked his ass off. He really understands his game. He's got a real good team in front of him. He had a real good team. So it's almost his first chance to show how good he is.
Some of the Leafs are surprised just how nasty Aldo Ekman can be.
Yeah.
The pitch that he plays. What's the most surprising thing you learned about him when you do that?
I almost would say probably that. I think when you play in the number one hole like he did his entire career, There are times you can serve a little bit. You can't be running around finishing every check. It's not a really big part of your game. You know, he's pulling 2 minutes on the top of the power play, and he's playing against the other team's best, and it's a different game. So when he got to us, he started in the top 4 because of our injuries, and he played with Cooley at the end, and that's a pretty physical. Cooley's a physical player. And you also then play against more physical players. You're playing against the 3rd and the 4th lines on other teams. So that's the way the game's played. He had no problem playing the game like that. You get him up in the 1 hole. I think he's proud of the way he's reclaimed his game, and he's earned all the credit for that. But he was a hell of a defenseman kind of before he got hurt, and he's a hell of a defenseman now. He just had to kind of get healthy and play.
What's your sense of the team going into this game? You mentioned they're good problem solvers sometimes when the losses are coming. You mentioned that you're in a bad mood sometimes when the losses are coming. Like, what's your sense of the group coming into this one tonight?
Oh, we got a defined idea of what we're going to do, and if the coach is any good, I might be able to get it there. We'll see.
Any other lineup changes today?
Just you. Out again.
Awesome.
Yeah, Sergey, please.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks.
See you guys.